Wow, there are so many bees here. Hello, my dear gardeners. We have this wonderful compost bin at the end of our property, and the other day my husband, look at this golden thing for the garden. The other day my husband emptied the bottom like tray, and it has a lot of black garden compost tea. So I mixed it with water and I'm watering my precious roses today. We have really hot weather today in Connecticut, and I see that a lot of pots on my back porch dried up already. But today what I wanted to talk to you, I need to water all the pots. I wanted to talk to you about the message which I received from one of the Rosarians, one of the viewer, and this lady was saying that she has just landscape roses in her garden, but she wants to plant a different type of rose, and she has no idea where to begin. So we are talking what to do if you want to introduce a beautiful rose in the garden. Where do you start? And the first tip is you definitely don't go to the store right away and buy this the dream of rose. Bring it into your garden and you have no idea where to plant it. Olga Carmody with you, master gardener from Connecticut. So my best advice would be, when you want to buy a rose, first thing is location, location, and again location. Roses will not thrive in your garden without sun, and they say that some roses are better adjusted to grow in the shade than others. That is like buying yourself a headache, because that rose will refuse to bloom well, will be more susceptible to diseases, and will not thrive in part shade. And then you will be constantly attending to rose needs. Do yourself a favor, find a very beautiful sunny location when there is sun at least 6 hours a day, and your rose will have it all to thrive. So don't be like me, where I planted 7 or 8 roses in the front of my garden where sun was there, but now we have maple trees growing and now it's part shade and my roses are struggling. Full sun is a must for these beautiful roses. So so you have a sunny location. Now what you need to do is you have to understand that roses do love fertile soil. So if you have good wonderful soil, that's great, with good drainage, or you can commit to improving the fertility of your soil. And I'm voting for all sorts of organic fertilizers, and there are plenty of the market. There are plenty of videos on my channel what I do with the soil to make sure that it's healthy and fertile. I'm trying, by the way, to grow my garden organically. So you have to know that roses eat a lot, meaning they need a lot of nutrients to bloom well for you, since a lot of modern roses don't bloom only once, like some of those old roses. They bloom second time, or they are continually blooming. Well, it's really a stretch to say that they are continually blooming, but they do produce blooms on a regular basis through the summer, and they need a lot of food to eat. In order to eat that food, they need water. The soil, which is dry, cannot really supply any nutrients to the plant, right? Because we have water moving up through the stems, evaporating, and that's how all the nutrients are coming into the rose with water moving up the stems. So we figured it out. Sun, good nutrition and good water is a must. And that means that you have to be there through the year to take care of that rose. Here my beautiful compost tea. Just look at this black gold. Alright, so we are going back to which roses to buy if you want definitely disease-resistant roses. And for the beginner rosarians, yes, definitely you don't want a finicky rose which drops all its leaves because of black spot. You want something which can stand up to diseases and pests, and the disease resistance is bred into the genes of that rose. And there are several good choices for you. The good thing for rosarians is, the good news is that a lot of modern hybridizing efforts are now directed into the disease resistance. We understand people don't want to spray on a regular basis, and it's not really healthy for your garden. I understand there are places where roses will not live at all. They will decline in health, so people do have to spray. And if I would have rose rosette disease coming into my garden, that systemic spray is going to be purchased, no problem, and I'm going to spray my roses to kill rose rosette disease, because we have already not far away, I was reading that Hartford, which is not far away from me, from my garden, they do have rose rosette disease. So the best choice would be for people to look into landscape roses and so-called ground cover roses, because they are very hardy and disease resistant, and they don't need any maintenance at all. And my advice would be not to go to these very bright red roses which are just overplanted everywhere. Go for softer varieties, but they are disease resistant, and they're called ground cover roses or landscape roses. If you really want to buy David Austin roses, which are not famous for their disease resistance, they're famous for their beauty and gorgeous old-fashioned scent and charm. You can go for, when you go on the website, you can look specifically to disease resistant section, and David Austin now is focusing on breeding disease resistance into his new varieties. So his latest introduction, Olivia Austin, is marvelous. It's very disease resistant. I don't do anything to it. I just do the February spraying with the horticultural oil. But you know what? Keep in mind that it is try and miss with growing roses in different climates. Growing roses here in Northeast USA, Connecticut, can be so different than growing roses in the South or West. So you try, and if you don't like the rose is not performing very well for you, you look for something else. All right, let me get this Verbina Banis. It is not doing very well here, but let me help her to thrive. So, you found out about the rose, right? You know the rose which you want to buy. Now the question is, are you going to buy own root or grafted rose? For beginner rosarians, it's better to do own root roses, since you're not going to face in the future the problem of grafts growing from the root system, and that's just another extra headache for some regions. Own roots are much healthier. They can take care of themselves. They are more hardy. And again, you don't need to face the grafts coming out from under the ground and taking over the stalk. Now we have shipping or going to the store. I would say going to the store is better. You will get a bigger rose, because when they ship, they have to clip it. The stress of shipping also. If you can find a rose in the store, it's much better option for you. I think as a shipping method to ship roses, it would be better to ship bare roots, because bare roots are dormant. Potted roses are better to buy from the store. So as you can see, beginner rosarian has a lot of options, and to navigate those options can be tricky. So hopefully this video helped you, my dear beginner rosarians, to make a choice and to buy the rose which will fit into your garden, and you will enjoy your garden. Instead of looking at it as a chore which you have to do with failing plants, you have plants which are thriving. And the big decision is which plant you're going to buy and where you're going to match it, with which area you're going to match it in your garden. Please do like this video, and I will see you in my next video. Happy gardening!